Bailiff powers in the UK. Your legal rights explained. Having the bailiffs knocking at your door can be a frightening experience. If you are struggling financially with a debt problem, you'll already feel anxious, worried, and vulnerable. Bailiffs tap into these emotions to gain access to your possessions. You must stay focused and in control, and more importantly, you need to know your legal rights when dealing with bailiffs. There are some misconceptions about dealing with bailiffs. We want to make sure you know precisely what bailiffs cannot do and give you the answers to questions like, do I need to let bailiffs into my house? Bailiffs at your door? Stay calm and know your rights. Why bailiffs trigger fear and how to stay in control. Bailiffs can be intimidating, but understanding your rights is the first step to staying calm and in control. Can they force entry? Debunking common myths. Can a bailiff force entry to my home? Bailiffs can't make their way into your home by pushing past you. It's important to remember that they can only come in peacefully, though there are some specific debts where this might be different, which we'll explore later. Can a child let a bailiff enter? Bailiffs cannot enter a home if only children under 16 are present, or only those considered vulnerable people, for example, people with mental health issues or disabilities. Can bailiffs come anytime? No, they cannot. Bailiffs cannot visit you between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. Can bailiffs enter by climbing through a window? Bailiffs can only enter your home through the door, so they won't be coming in through windows. What items can a bailiff not remove? Bailiffs are not allowed to take away items that are essential for your daily living, such as your cooker, clothes, washing machine, fridge, and freezer. Can bailiffs take my work tools? Bailiffs are not allowed to take any items that you need for work, including your work tools and equipment, if their total value is under £1,350. Can bailiffs take things that belong to someone else? Bailiffs cannot take items that do not belong to you, e.g., items that belong to your partner. You may be asked to prove the items do not belong to you. What bailiffs can't do? Your legal protections. Summary. 7 strict rules bailiffs must follow. No forced entry, except for specific debts such as HMRC arrears. No entry through windows, only doors. No visits between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. No removal of essentials, cookers, fridges, work tools under £1,350. No confiscating others' property, e.g. your partner's belongings. No targeting vulnerable households, for example those with children under 16 or disabled individuals present. No intimidation tactics, report threats immediately. What bailiffs can do, risks of refusing entry. What happens if I don't let them in? You might remember that our first point was about bailiffs making a forced entry. But do you really have to let them in at all? The good news is that there's no law requiring you to allow a bailiff into your home. However, if you choose to let them in and don't pay, they can legally take your belongings to sell and use the money to settle your debt and fees. You might think, great, I won't let them in. But there are a few things to keep in mind. If you decide against letting the bailiffs enter your home, they might take possession of things you own outside, like your car. Moreover, if there are no items for them to take, be aware that there's a chance they could add more cost to your debt. Lastly, if bailiffs can't recover the debt, they might send it back to the creditor. Remember, you should never feel intimidated. As we highlighted earlier, no law requires you to let a bailiff into your home. Should I let them in? The trade-off explained. If you choose to let them in without paying, they might take your belongings. On the other hand, if you decide not to let them in, they could seize possessions that are outside or add extra costs. Take your time to weigh your options carefully. How to spot a fake bailiff. 4-step safety check. It's unfortunate, but some people fake it as bailiffs. You do not want these people inside your home. If a bailiff is at your door and you choose to engage with them, please follow these 4 steps for your safety and protection. Step 1. Demand ID. Enforcement agent, certificate or badge. Ask the bailiff to present proof of their identity, such as a valid ID card, an enforcement agent certificate or a badge. You do not need to let them into your house to view this. Ask them to post it through the letterbox or show it at the window. Step 2. Verify their company via gov.uk databases. Ask for their company name, then look it up and call them if necessary. You can check a bailiff's identity using one of the links on the written version of this article, depending on the type of bailiff they are. Step 3. Request a detailed debt breakdown. Request a detailed breakdown of what is owed and review it thoroughly. Step 4. Report suspicious activity to Action Fraud. If you suspect someone is pretending to be a bailiff, do not let them into your house. It is a criminal offense. You should report the person to the police immediately. When can bailiffs force entry? Rare scenarios explained. If you have outstanding debts, bailiffs cannot force entry into your home unless the debts are income tax, stamp duty, or criminal fines. However, this is rare and only used as a last resort. Criminal fines, HMRC debts, and stamp duty arrears. Bailiffs can only force entry for these specific debts and only with a court order. Forced entry rules, court orders, and reasonable force. It's important to remember that even in those situations, they must adhere to strict rules and only use reasonable force, avoiding any violence. Just keep in mind that no law obligates you to allow a bailiff into your home. The Real Debt Guy's final thoughts. Knowledge equals power. How to stay emotionally grounded. Managing your debt can be tough, but a big part of overcoming these challenges is staying calm, keeping your focus, and understanding the facts. Knowledge is your shield. Preventing bailiff action through awareness. At The Real Debt Guy, we want to give you all the facts and information you need because the more knowledge you have, the less worried you will feel. We never want the word bailiff to fill you with fear again. Read Taking Control of Your Debt and Your Emotions to help you cope with the mental and emotional aspects of debt. The Real Debt Guy is a qualified financial advisor and a UK debt expert. The information in this article is considered to be true and correct at the publication date.